Musashi's entire body until
I know a lot of you guys would love to be in a position like this with, these certain mommies. And just know, you're not alone. You're not alone. Miyamoto Musashi exposed the Baki universe by CJ Dachamp. So, you know, it's always a good time whenever we do a CJ video. Always a good time. And I did just finish the Baki season, so I'm excited for this one. I've been waiting for them to animate the Musashi arc. The original video will be in the description below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and without further ado, let's get it!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Today, this is gonna be one of them videos where I'ma just keep it a buck with you. What you're about to witness is 30 minutes of pure, unadulterated, nonsensical chaos that is going to make absolutely no sense. And have you wondering, how the hell is even half of this shit possible? And my answer to you
The only true answer is that it's Baki logic.
is, I don't know either. I'm just here to show you the most insane depiction of a real-life historical figure that they put in the anime. So, without further ado, now, as we know in the world of Baki, there's a lot of absurd shit that happens in this universe that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, the last time I covered a Baki character, I was talking about a butt-booty-naked resurrected 7-foot caveman. But I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think it could get crazier than that. I mean, what could possibly top resurrecting a primitive nigga that fought dinosaurs for fun? Well, how about resurrecting the greatest swordsman in human history?
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Figured out a way to resurrect Musashi Miyamoto.
$10 billion. You have to survive 3 minutes in a fight with Musashi Miyamoto for 3 minutes. And he's not allowed to kill you until the last 15 seconds. Are you taking that fight? You don't even have to beat him. You just have to survive. Are you taking that fight? Are you? I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
The most legendary samurai in history. A nigga who went undefeated in duels with a whopping record of 60-0. And these are not anime numbers.
Wait,
these are
did he really have
real numbers.
60 matches and he won?
This nigga back in the feudal Japan era, there was a 100% chance your ass was dying. Bro was not the dude to be fucked with. Now, how they resurrected him is
I kind of wish we could go back to that. Back when, there was like no guns, you just use swords and stuff. Guys, you know, 60 people and never losing, that's some real skill. Now, any crackhead with an AK-47 can do that. So now it's not impressive. But you know.
It's one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. They went to his grave and dissected his spinal tissue so they could make a clone of him. And when the clone was finally fully grown, they got this crusty ass old lady who could summon spirits of the dead to somehow summon his soul, then smooch the nigga to transfer his soul into the clone's body, bringing him back to life. Now, does that make a lick of sense? No. But guess what?
It does, because Baki.
It's Baki, so who gives a f? Crazy stuff happens in this universe every day. This is normal at this point. Now, when bro woke up and they took him out into the world,
I remember when Yujiro did that.
Captain America waking up out the iceberg moment, but 10 times more brutal, because Cap was just asleep for 70. Musashi's been dead for 400 years. So this dude thought he was on a whole different planet. This nigga was terrified of riding in a car and was in complete shock when he rode an elevator for the first time. He had no clue what the hell was going on, because the world was
from
completely
400 years
changed for him.
ago.
But one thing that didn't change was that in this era, niggas still loved to fight, and Musashi loved to fight. So with that being said, let's start to go through this gauntlet that this man ran, because this dude damn near embarrassed the entire cast. So the first man to get him.
That's just kind of how it goes with Baki. They introduce a new strong guy, and then new strong guy, like, beats up everybody, and then everybody gets, like, a rematch. That's kind of how it goes in Baki.
Embarrassed by Musashi was Mr. Sabu, and he was known as the best swordsman in modern day Japan. So his first fight was basically the strongest swordsman in history versus the strongest swordsman of today.
I was just about to make the Jujutsu Kaisen reference. I was just about to make it.
Sukuna versus Gojo type shit. However, the way Musashi did Mr. Sabu was so absurdly ridiculous. It made all the modern day swordsmen look like a bunch of frauds walking around with butter knives. Cause Musashi beat this man without even lifting a finger. You see, when dude walked up to him, he quite literally felt this nigga cut him down and kill him a total of 7 times in his mind. Dude lost the fight before it even started. He knew he was cooked, so he just dead-ass
And again, this makes perfect sense because Baki
gave up. And he straight up admitted that if he actually went through with this fight, he would have basically just thrown his life away for nothing. So after Mr. Sabu gave up, Musashi decided to add more salt to the wound and embarrass this dude to a degree of no recovery. He asked Mr. Sabu if he could see his swords so he could inspect them. So when he gave Musashi his swords and he started to inspect them, he basically told Mr. Sabu, as expected, these swords are utter garbage, my nigga. So he ends up swinging his swords, and they both end up breaking because...
What do you do in this situation? Because think about it. He just disrespected you so bad. But, you know he can kill you. Do you do it anyway because of honor? Or do you just walk away?
They could not withstand the sheer force of Musashi's swing. And after he broke his swords, he told him, "These cannot be called swords, young
I don't know
one.
if I could
How
walk
do you
away.
expect these toys to kill someone when they can't even survive a simple swing?"
He just called them toys.
And after bro heard that, his whole life basically just flashed in front of his eyes, because this was the moment in
This is not how the Gojo versus Sukuna fight goes, by the way. Also, CJ just spoiled that, but...
his life, where he just straight up learned that he wasn't built for this shit. So he picked up the scraps of his broken blades and left, having to take a long walk of shame all the way back home.
I mean,
So
at least
after
he
Mr.
didn't
Sabu
die.
got his whole life dream and
At least he
sword
didn't
shattered,
die.
the next character to get embarrassed was none other than the main character
Baki.
himself, Baki. And I'ma be so real, I haven't seen Baki get embarrassed like this since he fought Yujiro for the first time. Like, this nigga got done dirty. So here's how this went down. Baki ends up going over to Tokugawa's house to confront this overwhelming aura he's been feeling uneasy about. And the person with that
It was his conqueror's haki. I'm telling you, people in Baki have conqueror's haki.
overwhelming aura was Musashi. So when Baki finally felt this man's aura near him, he threw a Pele kick, but his leg got cut off. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this was a pretty good psych gotcha nigga ass moment, cause he actually didn't get his leg cut off. It was all in.
You know, I think I might have fell asleep during this episode when it was playing. I don't remember watching this. I've read the manga though, so I know what happens, but I don't remember watching this part.
In his head, Musashi literally pulled up for 1 second, and his presence made him get stuck in a genjutsu. And the wildest part about it is that he still felt the pain of his leg getting cut off. So when Baki looks up from the ground, he sees Musashi standing over.
Wait, hold on. Tell me Musashi doesn't look like a lion. He either looks like a lion or a tiger. Like, you know how Baki and Yujiro, they're like ogres or devils or demons? I think Musashi is like a mythical tiger or something.
Musashi standing over him and staring a hole into his soul. And the difference of what they saw when they stared at each other was just insane. When Baki looked at Musashi, he saw a mushroom cloud from a nuke, just pure destruction. But when Musashi looked at Baki, all he saw was free eats. It was Thanksgiving for this nigga. Nigga looked at him like a plate that you get at a family function at your grandma.
You never want anybody to look at you like that unless it's a 7-foot-tall muscle mommy with big booba.
I made catfish, yams, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread. This nigga was free food. So they ended up going outside to run the ones. And this is where Baki just got completely embarrassed. Baki went in for a kick, but Musashi gripped his ankle and lifted him with one hand like he was playing with a toy.
Whoa,
Then
Baki
he started
is-
to grip.
To be fair, Baki is like canonically, like really short and really slim, but he's like muscular.
His ankle so hard, his ankle started to shatter while he was holding him up midair. Then he whips him behind his back and says, "Let's find out if he'll break." So he uses Baki's body like he would swing a sword and slams him on the ground, shutting his lights out.
Yeah.
This right here
That would kill
might go
any
down as
normal
one
person.
of the most absurd moments of
That
all
would
time.
kill any
He
normal person.
grabbed the main character, yes, the main character of the show.
To be fair, it's not that crazy when you look at the fact that Yujiro's dad's favorite technique was dress or blouse. It was either dress or blouse. But it's not that impressive when you consider that both Yujiro and Yujiro's dad, Yujiro, can use the technique blouse where you grab them and basically use them as nunchucks so fast that it looks like a dress around you. So I mean, it's a powerful, but I don't think it's like a something that should be glazed too much. I'm pretty sure Biscuit Oliver could do it too. If he like got a good grip on Baki.
Picked him up like he was a
We know
toy
Pickle could.
and used him as a human sword to see if he could survive his swing. That is generally one of the most mind-boggling, insane things I've seen. So Baki ended up taking a pretty good long nap after this. But when he woke up, he decided that he wanted to run the ones one more time. Now, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but hey, if you've taken
Because
as many
he's
hits to the
Baki.
head as Baki has in his life, the CTE demons in your head just take over at some point, I guess. So Baki
Round
comes
two.
out.
Baki literally has a demon brain. He literally has a demon brain. So that's actually an accurate, like, saying for Baki.
For round two, and immediately throws a jab at Musashi to catch him off guard. And Baki actually drops Musashi to a knee for a second, because he actually had him stunned. But he gets up and just
I
straight
think
up
he's
tells
a lion.
Baki, yeah, so
I think
saw
lion,
that jab
not
coming
tiger.
the whole time, and I could have just dodged it, but I decided to eat it. And Baki was just completely flabbergasted at this point. This dude basically just told him to his face that I just saw your fastest attack coming, and I decided to let you hit me so you can get a little morale boost. So to end this fight, Musashi decided to take his actual fighting stance. And in this stance, two invisible swords showed up out of nowhere.
That's his Conqueror Haki's emission. That's his advanced Conqueror's Haki. That's all that is. That's his advanced Conqueror's Haki emission.
Now, I don't know where the hell they came from, but my guess is that he just conjured them up out of his aura or some shit. So Baki goes in to attack him,
It
but
was his
Musashi
Conqueror's Haki.
grabs his punch and stops
His
him before he
Conqueror's
can
Haki.
even throw it. Then he uses his invisible mind sword to cut Baki down the middle and make his nervous system spaz out. So with one final attempt, Baki tries to hit Musashi one last time, but he blocks it with his foot and uses his punch as a bounce pad to land onto the roof. So Musashi looks at Baki on the verge of passing out and tells him, "Wow, you did impressive, little nigga, but I feel like indulging in more fun. Farewell, and thank you for the free meal." And when Musashi leaves, Baki just passes out and gets knocked out again. So after Musashi slumped the main character twice in the same day, the next character to get utterly embarrassed was everyone's favorite bald nigga with an eye patch, Doppo Orochi.
Orochi.
Now the reason Doppo even
Doppo
knew
Orochi.
Musashi was resurrected and back in the first place was because earlier that day, Musashi was on the news for beating up like 4 cops at once, and it was all caught on security cam footage. The first dude tried to get behind him and put him in a rear naked, but this nigga grabbed his nuts and crushed them into
Ooh, he just grabbed them in a no-no bits.
smithereens. Look at the way he falls clutching where his testicles once were. This brother just
Guys, if that happens to you, do you quit being a police officer? Do you quit?
got his manhood taken in 4K for the whole world to see on national news.
And
Then
it
he
was
walks
live
up to the
streamed.
next cop. The cop tried to swing but instantly got his baton snatched, and Musashi stares him straight in the face and slices him down the middle with his baton. Yes, your eyes do not
Wow.
deceive you. This nigga used a baton as a sword.
See, that's his anime hockey. That's his Ryuo. See, I'm telling you, Baki characters have hockey. They just don't have devil fruits, but they have hockey.
And look at him on the ground. The nigga's having a seizure. Then the last two tried to jump him, but they both got air sliced and dropped as well. Now, this is what Doppo saw on the news. And being the crazy ass nigga he is, he saw that and he wanted to fight him to see if he was the real deal or not. So when they stood off from one another, Tokugawa asked Doppo to introduce himself to Musashi. So Doppo decides to introduce himself by breaking shit and showing off. He started punching through cinder blocks, slicing glass bottles with his hands, and then kicking a block of wood cleanly in half. And after this, he just floated in the air and tried to
It's been a
ore farm
long
as
time
much as he
since he's
possibly
seen it.
could before gravity finally took him. Now, after seeing that, any regular person would be impressed. But Musashi looked at him when he was finished and was like, was that supposed to be martial arts or a dance, my nigga?
What did you say, nigga?
So when Doppo heard him say it was a dance, this
Doppo
pissed
got
him
really
off
mad
to the max. Cause Musashi just flat out disrespected his craft. So they squared up against each other and these boys were ready to throw down.
Tell me this isn't two Conqueror's Haki users facing off. Tell me this isn't what this is. Tell me I am not looking at two. Let me move out of the way. Tell me I am not looking at two Conqueror's Haki users facing off.
So Doppo decides to attack first with a headbutt, but Musashi does one of the most disrespectful things you could ever do to a bald nigga. He palmed his head like a basketball. Like, dog.
Alright, okay. You can't tell me that this picture is not a little crazy. You can't tell me it's not a little crazy.
His head like a
And this one is even worse.
basketball. Like, dog. The thing that gets me the most is that he really started rubbing his chrome dome like he was polishing a bowling ball. So Doppo bags up and Musashi takes his fighting stance, where he has his air swords drawn out again. So he goes into attack and Doppo parries the first sword, but his other sword came
Wait,
down
how does he
and
parry?
ended up slicing him.
So, Orochi, Doppo Orochi, he used his Conqueror's Haki coating to block Musashi's Conqueror's Haki blade, but then he couldn't block it the second time.
And Doppo is screaming, thinking that he actually got hit. But then Musashi started laughing at him. And when Doppo finally realizes that he actually didn't get hit by a sword, Musashi was just staring at him, fist cocked back and loaded. And he told him, "See, I told you, it's just all a dance, my nigga," and rams his fist into Doppo's face. Now, while he was rocked, Doppo decided to at least save some of his ore. So he stops himself and recovers into a one-handed handstand. Like, I'll give it to bro. Even though he's getting absolutely washed in this fight, Doppo made sure this ass whooping would not result in any type of ore loss. Bro got his bald head rubbed and knew he
Again, tell me this doesn't look a little crazy. Tell me it doesn't. Tell me this does not look a little crazy.
had to make up some points. So Doppo being Doppo and letting his CTE take over, decided
I'm from Miami. I know that team. I'm not into football, but I'm from Miami, so I know the Dolphins.
you know what? I want you to get
My
a
dad
real
and brothers,
sword
they
so I
love
can
football.
fight you at your full strength. So Tokugawa gives Musashi a sword that can actually withstand the power of his swing. And this ends up leading up to one of the most absurd KOs in anime history. So Musashi kept on talking shit to Doppo, telling him, "Oh, you ain't no god of martial arts and all you doing is dancing and shit." So Doppo got mad and tried to rush him, but Musashi swung his sword into Doppo's face and slammed him into the ground, knocking him out cold.
You know, in the manga, when I first seen this, I thought he killed Doppo.
And he didn't even cut him. This nigga somehow held back enough strength while also putting out enough to knock a nigga out cold without the blade even splitting him open. That shit is the most absurd way to knock a nigga out.
It's his ornament hockey. What did Zoro's teacher say? A true swordsman can cut what he wants to cut and not cut what he doesn't want to cut. He used his ornament hockey to hold back enough so that he didn't kill Doppo. I'm telling you, Baki characters have hockey.
Isn't even remotely possible. This nigga Doppo should have been looking like Mecha Frieza when he pulled up to Earth. Split in two right down the middle. And then this nigga wakes up after getting knocked out like, well damn, looks like he's the real deal. Like, my brother in Christ, you should be talking to God right now. Now the next cast member to get exposed actually did talk.
I hate what happened to Retsu. I hate it so much. I hate what happened to Retsu so much. After the pickle thing, and then Musashi. You know what? At least Retsu gets isekai'd. And like, the author wrote so many stories about him in different, like, isekai worlds. Retsu does get isekai'd.
Retsu. Now, Retsu wanted to fight Musashi because he was bored with being a boxer due to dominating every person he fought. Also, he was tired of only being able to use his fist. So when this dude heard about Musashi, he immediately vacated his championship and said, "I'm going to Japan, my nigga," because he wanted to challenge him to a fight. But not just to a regular fight. Retsu challenged this man to a fight to the death. This nigga nigga
I don't
wanted
know
to
why
have
Retsu would do that,
mortal
but
combat with Musashi.
that's just the kind of man Retsu is. Retsu Kaio, Sea King Retsu. What? And they even have Sea Kings. They even have Sea Kings. And in their world, Sea Kings are the equivalent to like emperors of China. So I guess they're in like the new world. So like Retsu is an emperor of the new world. And you're telling me that Baki isn't like the modern world version of One Piece? I don't believe it.
Now, I don't know why the hell you want to have a fight to the death with a samurai whose record is 60-0 in fights to the death. But hey, we all act a little stupid sometimes. Hell, I went to a Chick-fil-A one time when I was baked and asked for a burger. And I'm not kidding.
I haven't been at Chick-fil-A in so long. It's been so long since I've had Chick-fil-A. I kind of want Chick-fil-A now, but I have dinner cooking. So, yeah. Boo.
This was a true story. So this fight was basically like a WWE No Holds Bars Extreme Rules match. Everything was legal. Swords, nunchucks, tables, ladders, chairs, you name it, you could use it. Except for guns, because that's just flat out cheating. And you know what the crazy thing is? They did this in front of a live crowd. These niggas dead ass got off of their 9 to 5.
How much do you think those people pay to get into like these tournaments to watch? How much do you think these people pay? Because, I mean, Tokugawa is, like, really rich, right? So you would assume he's charging people to, like, watch these fights. How much do you think he charges them? Like, $100 a ticket? Or maybe 200, 300, 500?
Bob and said, hey, you want to go see a nigga die? Oh, hell yeah, bro. Like, is that not insane to y'all? They treating this shit like the
Of course, who wouldn't want to go see that?
Coliseum
Come on,
back
man.
in the Roman Empire.
Come on, who wouldn't want to go see
the
it?
gong goes off and combat begins. So Retsu
I
immediately
love
rips
Mortal
off his
Kombat.
jacket. And inside of it, it was loaded with at least 100 kunai in there. So Retsu just starts to PK fire the knives at Musashi. But Musashi started to dodge every single knife and even started catching them. Then to really just show how much of a different level he was on compared to Retsu, bro decided to cut the last kunai in half. So when Retsu finally ran out of ammo,
I distinctly remember Zoro doing something like that against, who was it, Mr. 2? Or was it Mr. 1? Das Bones.
he decided that his next best move was to use his shirt as a weapon. So this man starts to swing his shirt
Mr. 2
around,
was
and
wrong
it was
play.
sending a bunch of sand,
So yeah, it was
dust,
Mr.
and
1.
teeth into this man's face. But this is the moment where I myself realized that this dude was just built different. He let this shit fly in his face without even closing his eyes. He didn't even blink once. He just stood there and
He's pulling a Shanks. He's not even using his ornament hockey to defend himself.
took it. Bro had a whole rock fly into his eye and he didn't even flinch. He was stone-faced the entire time. And when Retsu's attack was finally over, all he did after it was just shake everything off like nothing happened. And he called Retsu a child for throwing rocks and pebbles at him. So when Retsu was finally done spamming projectiles, Retsu decides to throw his shirt at him. And Musashi ends up cutting it in half. But this was a feint by Retsu, because after Musashi cuts the shirt, he gets clocked in the forehead by a 9-section whip and got dropped. So it seems
Alright, that looks like a really cool weapon to use. That looks like a really cool weapon to use. I would want to use that. It looks so cool. Also, what's up with Retsu's, like, expression? Why is one eye, like, squinty and one, like, really big?
that Retsu's plan this whole fight was to not let Musashi get close to him at all. He was going to have to zone him the entire fight, because if he let Musashi get close to him with his sword, he was a dead man. So while Retsu was swinging his whip at mock speeds, Musashi decided to mock Retsu again. He puts down his sword and lets Retsu attack him. So Retsu came in swinging, but Musashi dodged all the hits and grabbed both of the whips to make him stop and bagged back without his weapons. Then Musashi looked at the chains and called them toys that can't kill anyone. Then decided to swing both of them like a sword and snap the chains like they were made out of wood. Now this right here,
what isn't a toy to this man? Everything has been a toy to him so far.
Was just straight up demoralizing.
Everything has been a toy to him so far.
That specific weapon since he was a kid, and Musashi literally picked it up for the first time, called them toys, and snapped them in half. Bro just made all of his life work feel meaningless in the matter of seconds. So after Musashi,
it shouldn't feel meaningless. To be fair, it shouldn't feel meaningless. He just needs like more durable ones.
Musashi did this. He did one of the cockiest things I've ever seen. He throws his sword at Retsu and says, "Why don't you give it a try? It's simple. All you gotta do is swing." So Retsu, feeling absolutely disrespected by this, decides to just smack Musashi with his sword multiple times. And when he knocked him down again, he told him, "I am a master of martial arts. Don't ever approach me unarmed again." And after Retsu did this to Musashi, this is when Musashi just became an absolute dickhead, because he just started to troll him for the rest of the fight. This nigga deadass threw his sword away, walked up to Retsu and told him, "I've approached you with no weapon, Mr. Martial Artist. Ooh,
Yeah, that
what
is
shall
real
you
disrespectful.
do?" So Retsu throws a punch at him, and Musashi catches it. But Retsu pulled out a Bianca Belair move and used his hair as a whip to smack Musashi in the face. Then he kicked him at.
Do you think that strat would be like effective? Because I mean, my hair is pretty long. You think I could like pull that off? I mean, I don't fight, but my dad made me learn how. So if I was like fighting a girl, could just with my hair. I don't know. It could be a viable strat. I don't know.
Hard as he physically could to rattle his brain and drop Musashi to his knees. Now, when it looked like Retsu was coming to finish him off, Musashi grabbed his peg leg. And this is where Retsu fell into the trap. The same one Baki fell into. Musashi picked him up. This 200-pound plus nigga by the leg with one arm, swung his body back all the way and swung him again like a sword, smashing his face into the ground. Now, the most insane thing about this is that Retsu's body recovered and stood up, but he was still out cold. So Musashi had to walk up to him and grab his fist to throw him on the ground to wake him up. And right here is when you can see that Retsu was just out of it. This nigga had no clue where he was at for a second. He was clearly concussed. And Musashi was just standing over him like, "Get up, little nigga. This doesn't end till one of us are dead." So when Retsu's brain finally started to function again, he gets up and starts to attack him. But now he couldn't even land a hit because Musashi started to block every single one of his strikes. So since Retsu was basically downloaded at this point, he had to try some new shit and pull something out of his bag. So he decides to take Baki's fighting stance to see if he could mix him up a little bit. But I don't think bro understood that this was not the move, because Baki himself got knocked out.
Already
not
lost.
once, but twice. So the fuck did bro think that this was gonna accomplish? So Musashi leaps at Retsu with a random sword he picked up and rams the blade right into Retsu's face. Now this is another moment where a character should be dead. Retsu's face should be split in two right now, but this nigga still has the ability to talk right now because he didn't cut him all the way through. So Musashi tries to finish the strike, but Retsu hits a counter and bicycle kicks Musashi in the.
That was masterful. That was masterful. I really wish that humans could do stuff that you would see in like old school, like Chinese, like kung fu movies, where they're like twisting and flying through the air. I really wish we could do stuff like that.
Face, laying him out on the ground. So it actually looks like Retsu did mad damage to Musashi right here. He looked absolutely stunned and was coughing up blood. So Retsu tries to finish him off with the Bruce Lee into the dragon curb stomp. But all of this was a
Did Retsu plan on beating him to
Musashi
death?
was playing possum the entire time. He caught Retsu mid-air and wrapped the cord that was on his clothes around his neck. Then he continued to wrap up Retsu's entire body until he was wrapped up like a present. This was pure humiliation. Retsu's entire body until.
I know a lot of you guys would love to be in a position like this with these certain mommies. And just know, you're not alone. You're not alone.
He was wrapped up like a present. This was pure humiliation at its finest. And look at Retsu. He is about to start bawling his eyes out because he knows he's cooked. It's over. The whole crowd knew as well too. They was like, "Please, Musashi, have mercy. Please don't kill that nigga." But it was too late. Musashi picked up his blade.
Hold on, Retsu was the one who like won at the deathmatch.
Turned around. Musashi's blade came right down the middle. So Retsu tried to counter it like last time, but he ends up getting his peg leg cut off. And when he ended up bagging up, you knew it was over because he had a big ass line going straight down his body. Then like 2 seconds later, the wound opens and Retsu's body just explodes in blood. Now this cut actually didn't kill him because it was too shallow. And also apparently Retsu learned some technique that can make him survive
the shouty. Yeah, it's basically like, and this is another reason to tell you that this is just One Piece in the modern world. This is basically a Kamiya, paper body. And it's basically the same thing. Unfortunately for you though, unfortunately for Retsu though, Musashi has crazy ornament hockey so he can like cut feathers in paper. Yeah. But I'm telling you, Baki is just like real world One Piece.
Out of a sword? I don't know, some straight up bullshit that the narrator's trying to gaslight me into believing in, but I guess it worked. So since Retsu is somehow still alive, he decides to prep one final move. He got down into the same feral stance that Pickle uses. So Retsu leaps at him and throws a punch, and Musashi cuts right into Retsu's fist. But Retsu planned this so Musashi's sword could get stuck in his fist. So Retsu yelled at this man.
Oh my god. How is he even keeping pressure? How isn't Musashi's sword just like sliding through? How is he keeping his hand closed? Oh my god, why is he smiling? I think at this point, Retsu is just like, he knows he's gonna die, so he just enjoying his last minutes doing anything.
And it said, "I got you." But Musashi looked at him with the classic, "Haha, you fool!" He flash stepped towards Retsu, hit him up,
my trap
and
card.
hit him with an attitude adjustment. Then while he was mid-air, he hit Retsu with a clean strike to the back and cut him clean straight through his body. His organs were slashed clean through and his spine was severed. And after he landed that fatal strike, Musashi turned around and said, "You've done well," and leaves. This time, it was really over. That bullshit ass technique could only bail him out once. Because once they started showing Retsu's backstory, you knew damn well it was a wrap.
Guys, if you're ever in a situation and you start seeing your backstory, you know it's over. Like, you know how they say in real life, when you're about to die, your life flashes before your eyes? That is like the real world equivalent of seeing your anime backstory at the end. So yeah, even in anime and in real life, it is a golden rule. Once you see your backstory, it's over.
So bro fell to the ground, holding his stomach and coughing up blood, and thought to himself in his last moments,
"Damn, at least I tried. My only regret in life was not using code CJ for 10% off on
Why did he?
If I tried some of that good shit before this fight,
Bravo, CJ.
I wouldn't
Bravo.
be getting isekai right now. I'll
W
make sure
ad,
to
CJ.
use code CJ
W
in
ad.
the next life."
W ad. Also, Retsu brought this on himself.
Not gonna lie, I was actually pretty shocked they
Wait,
actually decided to kill off a major side character like Retsu.
Toji?
And then I became even more shocked to figure out that this nigga got isekai'd into a spin-off manga. So
I told you he got isekai'd, so it's not like that bad of an ending. It's not that bad of an ending.
So I guess we gotta give Musashi an honorary truck-kun badge or something, cause he technically boomed a nigga so bad, he got sent to another world. So after Musashi isekai'd Retsu, the next dude to get cooked was this random NPC Kendo champion. Now, after the fight with Retsu, Musashi technically did end up getting arrested for killing him, even though they couldn't hold him with handcuffs and they had to call the entire SWAT team just so they could bring him in for questioning. But the police decided not to charge Musashi. They actually wanted to make a deal with him, and the deal was to fight Japan's Kendo champion, who was this random NPC right here. And this fight lasted.
Damn, like he already embarrassed the best swordsman in the world. So then why go to Kendo?
A whopping 10 seconds. I'm not even kidding. Musashi just casually walked up to dude, raised his Kendo stick, and smacked him on top of the head, one-shotting him. Every single person in the room just had their jaws dropped because they couldn't believe what they just witnessed. The Kendo champion of Japan got washed in 10 seconds flat. They was all looking at this nigga after he got knocked out like,
"Big dog, you supposed to be our number one. And you ain't like a bum. I bet you better start doing your job."
So after the Kendo champion got one-shotted, the next nigga to get exposed was Mr. Shibukawa. Now Shibukawa wanted to fight Musashi because he straight up tried to spin back for Retsu. This nigga walked up to Musashi after he knocked out the Kendo champ and said he wanted to
I did like this point in the manga where Shibukawa confronts Musashi after the Retsu fight because you can tell he was really mad about Retsu.
Shake hands with him. So they shook hands. But this was a trap that Shibukawa laid out. He gripped his
Shibukawa
hand
always
while
does this.
using Aikido,
He always does
and it
this.
made Musashi fall to the ground. Then Shibukawa looked at him dead in.
See, Shibukawa likes to pretend he's a nice old man. But look at this face. Shibukawa is a demon. He is evil incarnate. Look at his eyes. He enjoys it.
the face and said,
This is for Retsu, nigga.
and smashes his face into the ground. Now this was obviously a cheap shot, but Shibukawa did not care. Bro looked at Musashi when he got up and basically told him,
Pull up in front of the motherfucking precinct and let's bang out. Right down the block. You know where it's at. You studied my whole neighborhood. Or pull up in front of the Kmart and let's bang out and let's do it on camera. I throw my life away and you throw your life away right now. I hate you, nigga. Let's die.
so after Shibukawa was done talking this shit,
You know, it took me forever to find where that original saying was from. I first seen that in a rap video. Ever since then, I have always wanted to know where it came from, and I finally found it.
and was ready to throw his life away, Musashi just smiled at him and was like, all right, bet. So Musashi speed
It's
blitzed
Conqueror's
bro
hockey.
in 2.5 seconds and cut him down with his air sword. Musashi was so fast, Shibukawa couldn't even react. Bro just had to stand there and take all the pain before he spazzed out. And then when Shibukawa woke up to shake hands with Musashi after the fight, Musashi just decided to mark him one last time. So he gripped his hand as hard as Shibukawa did earlier and mind cut this nigga all over his body after telling him GG's. Now that was everyone that Musashi just straight up exposed. However,
Wait, this is only like a little bit of the people that Musashi fights. Wait, I guess they're waiting for the rest. They're gonna do a part 2, I'm guessing. Because Motobe still has to do stuff. Actually, he hasn't even mentioned Motobe yet. He hasn't even mentioned Yujiro yet.
there was one more character. he
Speak of
had
the
an
devil, he
interaction
shall appear.
with, and all
Speak
of
of
y'all
the devil.
should know him very well. It was none other than the most disrespectful man
that
in
Conqueror's
anime
hockey.
history.
And that Conqueror's
Yujiro
hockey.
motherfucker.
See, he has the same type of look as Shibukawa. He looks like he's utterly enjoying just being a menace.
Fucking Hanma, nigga. And ooh, boy, I tell you, I'm surprised the world cataclysmic event didn't happen when these two fought. Because we all know how overpowered Yujiro is in this universe. And we just witnessed how overpowered Musashi is. So the fact that the top two niggas in this verse decided to square off is generally terrifying. I'm surprised they didn't send the government to stop these niggas. But when I really think about it, what the hell are they gonna do? I mean, hell, Yujiro literally made America his bitch. Now, this is how this confrontation went down. Yujiro wanted to fight Musashi because Motobe straight up said, I don't believe that you can beat Musashi, and I will be the person to protect everyone. So Yujiro took offense to this because even though Yujiro's not a swordsman like
Yeah.
Motobe,
You know, after the whole like father-son fight for in Baki, like in the final one so far, I'm pretty sure they're gonna fight again at some point in this season series. I think Jack is gonna finally get to fight Yujiro. But you know, ever since then, Baki has been like 90% rage baiting Yujiro and then like 10% fighting. Like, there's always some Yujiro rage bait. Somebody's always doing it. And then before Yujiro can get to them, they run away. I mean, why would you play with your life like that? I don't get it.
Yujiro is still known as the strongest creature on Earth. So he went to Tokugawa's house to confront Musashi.
Baki's
Now,
win
the
was
way they
symbolic.
got to start
Baki's not
fighting
stronger.
was
His
just
win was
hilarious.
symbolic.
Musashi wanted to see if Yujiro was like that or not. So he tried to air slice him while Yujiro was just drinking some sake. But this nigga did not even react. Yujiro just straight up looked at him like, nigga, did you really think that bullshit was gonna work on me? Fuck wrong with you? Eat a dick, nigga. So this man cuts the bottle cap with his finger, and the glass lands on Musashi's forehead and he starts bleeding. Then Yujiro looked at Tokugawa and told him, hey, bald nigga, fetch that nigga sword now. Fuck the foreplay. We fighting right here, right now. So they wasted little to no time. They went outside and they were ready to throw down. So Yujiro decided
Notice how Musashi put on a headband for this.
to make the first move. He grabs Musashi's sword with his hand and tells him, think fast, Choco Nuts. So he slaps the shit out of this nigga and tells him, think fast.
You know, The one thing I love about all of the Hanmas, like Yujiro, Jack, and Baki, is that even when they're in the most like crazy situations, they can always have that super relaxed look. They can be like complete demons, or they can just be like really relaxed and content and happy with life. Look at Yujiro right now. Does that look like a man who's like concerned with the troubles of life? I'm just saying.
As Choco Nuts. So he slaps the shit out of this nigga and sends him flying, and this motherfucker is still hanging onto the sword. Like, look at this nonchalant bullshit. He farmed Aura mid-attack, and just off of the first hit, he had Musashi looking cross-eyed. So after he got
and not to mention, his haki amplified his aura.
Hit with that face palm of doom, this is when Musashi decided to lock in, because he finally had a worthy challenger. So Musashi decides to go on the attack. So he tries to slice him down the middle, but he ended up cutting his leg. Then he tried to slash him again, but Yujiro hits a nasty dodge. Dude jumps like 10 feet in the air and floated there for 5 seconds. And while all this was going on, Tokugawa was watching this, and this nigga looked like he was dead ass about to nut. Bro was on the sidelines like, oh, I can't contain myself. I'm about to bust. Like, I get it, bro. We're watching legends fight right now. But like, damn, bro, pop it out. So after Tokugawa was
That's how I get when I watch Dead or Alive matches.
done glazing, Musashi swung at one of Yujiro's vital points. But Yujiro somehow saw this attack coming. So he dodged to make him miss his vitals, then grabbed.
No, he just blocked it with his ornament haki. You seen it hit him. He just blocked it with his ornament haki.
Musashi by the wrist and gave him a receipt for that officer that got his balls crushed. Yujiro kicks Musashi in the nuts.
Ew.
Look at the pain this man is in. This kick to the balls by Yujiro
It like
was
flipped him
apparently
all the way
most
over.
pain Musashi's ever felt in his life. He said this felt worse than getting shot by an arrow or slashed by a sword. So after Musashi got hit by this, he got up and decided that Yujiro was a worthy opponent to try his secret technique on that nobody's ever seen. So Musashi gives up his swords and decides to fight barehanded. So he starts swinging on Yujiro with his bare hands and starts cutting him. Apparently, this is supposed to be the final form of his air sword attacks. And now this nigga doesn't even need swords because he is now the sword. So when Musashi ends up going in for another attack, Motobe just comes out of nowhere and eats every single hit that
Yeah, see, I can appreciate Motobe's, like, want to protect everyone from Musashi. I can appreciate that. What you don't do is get in the way of Yujiro doing anything he wants to do. That's what you don't do. So, yeah, something's gonna happen. I mean, I've read the manga, I know what's gonna happen, but if you only watch the anime, yeah.
Musashi would have landed on Yujiro. Now, obviously, since Motobe did this ended up pissing Yujiro off because he interrupted his
you
fight.
didn't want to do that.
The dude was so mad, he kicked up Motobe's unconscious body and just straight up bitch slapped him. And it got to the point that Musashi had to stop Yujiro himself because Yujiro was about to kill bro. But after this, we end up learning that Motobe actually took one for the team. Because apparently, if those attacks kept on landing, Yujiro would have died.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, this technique would have actually beaten Yujiro. Not gonna lie, when
I don't think it would have landed though.
Believe it myself.
I don't think it would have landed.
The nigga is stronger
I don't think it would have landed
in his actual swords. Now I don't know how the hell that makes any sense, but it's Baki, so I'm not asking questions.
Baki logic and ornament haki.
I'm just here for the nonsensical chaos.
Conquerors coding.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is quite possibly one of the craziest videos I've ever done. And apparently part 2 is coming out later this year. And I'm hearing people say that he's supposed to be going on a rampage. So let me know if you want to see that. And hell, I'll probably give a round table verdict at the end of it. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoy. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me let y'all know this right now. The day I'm finishing this up right now, I just saw Mark get literally dug in. So I might give y'all a little mini Invincible video next week. But anyways, I'm out.
Oh, I'm excited. Well, that was the end of the video, and I accidentally restarted it, but I'm not going back to the end of the video to do the outro. So, that was a fun one as always. And you know, Musashi is crazy, and I am 100% convinced that Baki is just an alternate reality One Piece where they like live in a modern day, but they still like have their hockey and stuff. I'm 100% convinced there are too many similarities between the two to where you can convince me that they're not like alternate realities of each other. But anyway, it was a fun video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and with that out of the way, later losers. KuroKumo out.